26 after 4, Suresh revealed in Perth Live's Word on the Street this time yesterday afternoon that the incumbent mayor at the City of Bayswater, Philomena Piffaretti, had announced that she would not stand as a councillor should she lose the mayoral election this Saturday. Now, you've got to remember that the process of electing the mayor has changed depending on which council area you live in. There have been some councils which have asked the people to directly elect the mayor. There have been some councils like Bayswater where the councillors decide on who is going to be the mayor. Now, that's all changing at this year's local government elections. It is the people who will decide who the mayor is. Hence why, obviously, the current mayor has to put herself up to run for mayor, but she's also a councillor and has 2 years left to run in her current term. She has revealed she will not sit as a councillor, though, should she not win the mayoral race. And under the local government rules and laws, that would mean there has to be a by-election. She can tell you more. Philomena Piffaretti joins me on Perth Live today. Good afternoon.
Hi, Ollie. Thanks for having me.
Is that basically how it works, Mayor?
Yeah, that was a really good explanation. So just in practical terms, my decision means if I'm not re-elected as mayor in Saturday's election, I will no longer continue on council and someone else will have a shot at representing the community.
Okay, when did you come up with that decision? When did you make up your mind?
It's something that I've been reflecting on lately, and it's been from talking with residents and ratepayers while I've been out door knocking, and it's given me the confidence and conviction that this is the right decision to make.
Why didn't you announce this before the election, though? Because this could cost up to $30,000 or $40,000 of ratepayers' money in a by-election.
Yeah, I understand the timing isn't ideal, but like I said, it's come from conversations with the residents and ratepayers during my campaign, and it really is something that I'm convinced is the right thing to do. I think whoever the community elect as mayor on Saturday should be given the opportunity to lead in their own right with the best interests of the community in mind. And I think it's good for them to have clear air that if the community don't choose me, I will step away quietly and someone else will have that opportunity. And I think it really respects the community's right to choose the council they want to represent them. So
as a potential ex-mayor, should the votes not go your way on Saturday, you don't want to be clogging up an opportunity for a new mayor by sticking around as a councillor?
Absolutely. I think I think that it'll be, potentially a new council, new councillors will be elected. If I'm not elected, you're going to have a mayor that hasn't been on council before, doesn't have the local government experience, and they would need to, I think it would be in no one's interest for me to stay on council.
So again, why did you make the decision, though, just a few days out from the election? Why not either tell people before the election or wait and see if you win on Saturday and then on Sunday say no, I'm not going to sit as a councillor if you were not to win?
Like I said, it's not ideal, but it comes from speaking with the community and listening to the community about, how they feel about the situation. And I'm trying to be upfront beforehand to let people know I've had to make this decision. And whilst the timing isn't ideal, like I said, I believe whoever is elected as mayor should be given the clean air to start afresh. So
you wouldn't be able to work with a new mayor, or you just don't want to have to hang around because you were the ex-mayor, again, if the votes don't go your way?
I think it's about... I've had the opportunity to serve as mayor for 2 years,
yeah,
and now I'm going to a popular election, and I'm putting, everything I stand for on the table. And if people choose me, great, because I'm very keen to continue leading our great city. But if the community come back and they don't choose me, I think the right thing to do for everybody in that instance is to walk away and give somebody else an opportunity that may reflect the community better than I would.
This is now a preferential voting system, though, as well. So your preferences, if you don't become the mayor or re-elected as mayor, your preferences will still favour potential people that might be associated with your re-election campaign.
In the mayoral election, is that what you're referring to?
Well, if someone's giving a 1, 2, 3 on the ballot paper, you're out. But what happens to your preferences? Might it be advantageous to somebody else who's running for mayor?
With the optional preferential, I'm still getting my head around how that works. But I believe my preferences would, if I'm knocked out in the count, I believe my preferences will then go to whichever candidate is number 2 on my ballots.
Now, you were named on a Labor Party member distribution list as somebody to vote for in the City of Bayswater. Are there any other Labor Party members running for mayor, Philomena?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Do you think it's good to be open, honest, transparent, accountable if anyone's a member of a political party to tell their constituents in a local government environment?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the City of Bayswater, since 2019 actually, we've had a political party register. So for any councillor at the City of Bayswater, if you are a member of any political party, we have to disclose that information, and that register is publicly available on the city's website.
Just getting a question in on the text line as well. Why did you wait until the postal ballots were in, asking Sam?
Like I said, it's a decision that I made after getting feedback from the community whilst door knocking. I announced the decision on Monday, and the election votes can still be taken until Saturday at 6 p.m. So there's still opportunity for everyone to have a say.
And because this is a new process in Bayswater and everywhere for that matter about directly the people electing the mayor, this sort of a scenario you imagine would be avoided at the, say, next election of mayors and local councillors, because somebody in your shoes would have an opportunity to say, I only want to run as mayor, not as a councillor.
Goodness. I don't know if that would be the case in every scenario. I can only talk about my circumstances. I'm not sure how that would apply across other local governments, and I'm not sure. Okay.
What's been the feedback from your community about this decision you're making, Philomena?
Well, obviously, I think there's a bit of miscommunication out there at the moment. I've had people confused, thinking that I'm no longer running for mayor. So just to clarify for everybody, I am definitely running for mayor and hope to have a positive outcome on Saturday. So there's been a little bit of confusion, and I hope that this conversation clarifies that for people. But yeah, I believe that I'm representative of my community. I have been a councillor for 6 years. I've lived in the City of Bayswater my whole life, over 40 years. And I'm confident that I am actually representing the views of my residents and ratepayers.
And you've only come up with a decision in it the last couple of days. You didn't know this before going into the process of the election?
No, I've made the decision based on the feedback that I was getting from the community.
All right, Philomena, appreciate you joining us this afternoon on 6PR. So she is the mayor at the City of Bayswater. She is running for re-election on Saturday, but should she not be successful, she'll be resigning as a councillor, and she has 2 years left to run on her term, and that would force the city into a by-election process over the next couple of months, estimated at a cost of $30,000 to $40,000. Now, the City of Bayswater is still consulting with the Department of Local Government over that exact scenario, but because the Act has changed, again, as a result of the people directly electing the mayor in every council area, this is the scenario it's created. 133,882. That's the explanation of Philomena Piffaretti. Do you buy that? Are you confused? Do you think that's fair? Or should she have to stick around for another 2 years as a councillor if she isn't successful on Saturday as the mayor? G'day, Sandra.
G'day, Ollie. How you going?
I'm well, Sandra. How are you going?
Not bad, thank you. I'm a candidate in the City of Gosnell's local government elections, and I find it absolutely abhorrent that she's made this announcement now. If she knew that she wasn't going to be successful in her campaign as the mayor, she should have thought about this before she started campaigning, because all it's ultimately going to do is cost the ratepayers money to have a by-election. Perhaps the feedback she's actually getting from her community is they don't like her as the mayor, and this is her way of trying to save face. That's just my 2 cents worth. You know, at the end of the day, why should the ratepayers be having to pay for another election because she can't play in the sandpit? You know, if you don't get elected as mayor, that's fine. You've still got 2 years as a councillor. Do the honourable thing, stay on as a councillor. But if you don't want to be a councillor, take your bat and ball, don't play in another sandpit, but don't say you're community-minded, because ultimately it's your community that's going to be forking out probably close to $40,000 for a by-election when we're just having a mayor election now.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, she's resigned as a councillor, so to correct that, the by-election will be held regardless, because she's no longer going to be a councillor. She's the mayor or nothing, effectively. Pat saying she's not a shoo-in for mayor. It's obvious she's done this to get rid of another opponent. That's some of the local politics going on in Bayswater. If you want to have your say, 133 882 22 to 5.
What if there was a